the microphone fiend, the microphone fiend, the microphone fiend, the microphone fiend, the microphone fiend.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. We've got a lot to talk about now. Since last week we had a lost episode.
Yeah, I know. The lost episode of the Neu Daye Podcast.
Yep.
Christ. So let's go ahead and get...
So does that mean we skip a number?
Well, I guess this would be like...
UFC does it.
I guess this would be like episode 19... it'd be like 19b?
Yeah, just do that. And then the following week we'll do 20 or whatever.
Yeah, we could do that. All right, so...
People aren't going to know what the fuck we're talking about, like, what we mean by that, but I guess we'll have to explain it, but...
Well, not too much. I think I've made it a point to talk shit about the fact that my computer went hill on me, and episode 19 of the Neu Daye Podcast actually got thrown over the top rope unexpectedly.
Yep.
Yeah, man, shit sucked. All right, since this thing is running, let's go ahead and get the introduction in. Hello, boys and girls. You are now listening to episode B, as you heard us discuss, episode 19B of the Neu Daye Podcast. I am the Day part of the Neu Daye Podcast. My name's Peter, and on the other side, we got
the new part, which is Nathan, and my last name is Newman, so that's where the new part comes from.
Yes, and as we discussed a little behind the curtain, we attempted last week, after a month-long hiatus, to record an episode of this motherfucker where we talked about the raid of the New Japan guys. We talked about the Royal Rumble. We talked about previous storylines and this, that, and the other. And the computer just said, fuck you. It gave us the old Stone Cold Stunner. And so we gathered ourselves, we picked ourselves off the ground, we dusted ourselves off, and here we are again, back on the saddle. How have you been since we last spoke?
I've been good. Not much has changed. Been watching wrestling. Some interesting stuff happened at work. But other than that, it's been a good week.
Really? You got a best and a worst from the past week?
Best would be, I'm trying to think. Probably the ROH show that I watched on Saturday, ROH TV. It was really good. So I would recommend going and seeking that out and watching it. And also, cheap plug, go to eyesonthering.com and read my review of said show. There was a triple threat tag team match that was really, really good. My review probably doesn't do it justice because it was really crazy, but it's definitely one that definitely a match that you should check out. And my worst would be Sunday. I got to work. I worked 11 to 4, and my boss wasn't supposed to be there. So I pull in the parking lot and I see her car, and I talk to her and ask her why she's there, and she said the cooler went out in the middle of the night. So we had to pull all of the milk out of the cooler, which was about 120 cartons worth, and dump it all down the sink and throw it away.
Wow.
So I got there at 11, and I didn't get logged into my register to actually start my cashiering duties until 1:30 because I was too busy dumping out all this milk and putting it in the trash.
Somewhere, Kurt Angle was crying.
Probably. And it was awful. It was just every single gallon of milk that we had, plus the small bottles of chocolate milk and a bunch of stuff just got totally ruined because the cooler decided to go out in the middle of the night. Luckily, we were able to get a maintenance guy in there to fix it, but we still lost all the milk that we had in the store.
That's That's no use crying, you know.
No, I know, no use crying over spilt milk, but it's like it was insane.
I actually walked up on a dude who, this was years ago. I was at a Food Line, and I just happened to whip the corner, and it was this poor guy, and he was just standing over a turned over, tray, like he was, I guess, transporting some milk to a place, maybe caught a bad wheel, and it all dumped over. So
Yeah.
I just happened to walk up on, like, just like, you know, glass too. Like it was like the glass ones. So it was like some odd like 20 things just dumped over. Some of them were broke, some of them weren't broke, but it was just milk every fucking where. And I just look at the guy and I go, no use in crying. And I you know, in hindsight, I go, man, that was in bad taste. That guy could have fucking, you know, could have whooped my ass.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he busted out laughing. I mean, he was pissed off. He was pissed off when I walked up on him. He just started laughing, man, and he just said, "Yeah, I needed that, man."
Well, and it's like,
and he walks.
Like I thought of the same thing as soon as I got to work. I'm like, and she told me what was going on, and she always knows that I'll go, like, I'll do whatever she needs me to do. Like there was one night when I worked a Thursday. It was supposed to be 9 to 2, and I do the load on Thursday because that's when we get our new shipments in, and she, like, I was asked by my boss at the time to stay until 4 o'clock. So I said, yeah, that's fine. Well, I was about to leave at about 3:50, the ice machine decided to go out. So then I had to take all that ice and dump it on the side of the building. But had the one cashier been there, and the cashier that was there is now the manager of the store, but had she been the only one there, she wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. So it's like, with my job, it's like, yeah, it's a cashier, and it's like, I don't make that much money, but when it's time to work, it's like, I'm willing to work, and I'm more than willing to go above and beyond because I've done it like twice now.
Who would ever thought you had people skills?
Shut up.
So, I guess, take us behind the curtain. What is this job?
I work at a gas station as a cashier.
Oh, okay. Like,
but
straight up clerks.
But it's not only like cashiering. That's the main part of the job. But we've also got like a bunch of crap that we have to do during the night. We've got the loads to worry about. So like all the shipments that come in with new stock. So I usually do that on Thursdays. And then like a bunch of other random shit, like the ice that happened to go out, and then like the milk. So it's like, and my boss, like, me and her have a good relationship, so it's like she'll ask me to do something about, like, I'm not going to say no, pretty much.
Yeah, your boss and you got a good relationship, huh? She asked you to do things, huh? That's cool.
Not like that.
That's cool.
But my new boss, because the boss, when I started, was there from May until December. And then it's funny because my boss now was going to leave. She put in her 2-week notice. She was the assistant manager at the time. And then the day that she was supposed to leave and take this new job, I found out that she wasn't leaving and that she was staying on as the manager. So that one kind of took me by surprise. But so that's my life in a nutshell anyway.
So to recap, your good was the ROH show, which
correct.
How deep into, I guess it was a tape show, so how soon would that be aired?
Well, it was aired on Saturday on Sinclair broadcast.
Okay.
So Channel 8. It'll air on Destination America this coming Wednesday.
Oh, so Destination America hasn't got rid of ROH yet?
Oh, wait. Have they gotten rid of ROH?
They got rid of all the wrestling.
Okay, well then I take that back. They are on Comet TV, though, I believe. So whatever aired this past Saturday will air on Comet TV.
Yeah, they became a paranormal station now. So
that's dumb.
Yeah, but fuck them. So and your worst was having to dump a bunch of fucking milk. You don't watch football, do you?
Huh?
Do you watch football, right?
I do, but I didn't get to watch any of it this week because I was at work.
Well, your last week, your Vikings went down.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't see a minute of that game.
Well, it wasn't worth watching.
Work.
I mean,
no, I know.
It came down to the missed kick. So just I use that I use that as a transition to give my good for the week, and that was my Carolina Panthers beating the brakes at first off of the Seattle Seahawks, advancing to the NFC championship. And if they win that, they go up against the Cardinals. And if they win that, they go to the Super Bowl. It pissed me off. They got a 31-0 lead, and then it dwindled down to a 24-31 final.
And how does that happen? Like, seriously, like
just take your foot off the gas.
Yeah, but it's stupid. It's like, yeah, you're up 31-0, and like I understand it, but it's like you can't hold back at that time. It's like you gotta still play the game to the best of your ability.
Well, the guys get complacent.
Don't half-ass.
What one guy was explaining on the Dan Patrick show, he's like, man, I mean, you be in those situations and like you don't know if you're going to stay in the game or not. You don't know where the head of the coach is. So, I mean, we did this against New York as well when the whole Norman and Beckham thing was going on. That was silly, but we ended up giving up a 30-point lead on that. They came back and tied the game. And I just go like, because I'm a Tar Heels fan, and we have issues with keeping leads as a basketball team. You know, like one of my biggest problems with Carolina basketball is that like every time we get like a 10, 15, 20-point lead, we just start jacking threes. Just here we go, 3-pointer. You know, we're not going to fucking take the the low risk shot. We're not going to take it inside. We're not going to pass the ball. We're just going to just jack up a three. And then they get the long rebound, go down, transition, score. Next thing you know, we're up by 20. Next thing you know, we're down by 2. And it's like, I don't know what it is about my favorite teams that have issues with keeping leads. And the Panthers are one of that. And I'm like, they better jump on the Cardinals, or there's not going to be the Cardinals catching up to take the lead. They're going to fucking win the game. So I hope they get that shit in check. My worst of the week, Kalisto, 1 day U.S. title reign.
Yeah, that was really stupid. I don't understand the point of that.
It's funny because I talk about that on my Peter Talk SmackDown, right? And,
well, I wouldn't know that because
whatever, stop. And I mentioned the fact that I avoided spoilers, but I did catch your tweet about you received the spoilers for SmackDown, and I kind of turned my head because I was like, I kind of glimpsed what it said. It said something like, looking at the spoilers, I'm not so happy about what happened on SmackDown. I think it was very vague, and I just kind of like jerked my head away. I was like, no way, I'm gonna check this out. But I went into it subconsciously knowing that Kalisto's gonna lose this belt. I went in thinking, was that maybe possibly what he was kind of hinting at? And sure enough, man, I had a rant on it's that. I know you don't listen to one man podcasts, and you probably don't give a shit about like SmackDown commentary. But if you were to ever listen to anything, I would suggest to check out. I wouldn't say a rant. Maybe it could be considered a rant, but my thoughts on the refusal of WWE to make new stars. And we just use that as a transition into this would be the first thing we talk about. Wrestling, going into the New Daye Podcast, episode 19b. What was your first reaction when you heard that Kalisto dropped the belt after not even 24 hours of holding it?
My first reaction was that, first of all, WWE, it's not the first time they've done this. I can think of a time where Kane won the WWE title at King of the Ring 1998 and then lost it back to Steve Austin the next night on Raw. So that's like the famous one that comes to mind. But
Christian.
Who?
Christian.
He doesn't count. He was never world champion material anyway. So.
Well, I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm just saying though. He only had. I'm not even
2 days.
2 days. Yeah, he didn't even drop it at a SmackDown. He dropped it at a house show.
No, he dropped it at a SmackDown.
SmackDown taping. Okay.
It was a SmackDown taping because he won it on a Sunday at a pay-per-view.
Yes.
And then he dropped it on a SmackDown taping on a Tuesday.
Yeah, 2 day title.
Back to Randy Orton, I think.
But
I remember watching that match and reading reports about that match, and that Randy Orton Christian match on SmackDown was really, really good. Probably the best match that they had together.
Well, I remember watching it. I mean, I watched it on SmackDown. Because I'm a fan of the. I mean, I've always been a fan of Christian. You know, everyone's been more Edge.
I've been a fan of him, but at the same time, it's like he's good, but he was never a guy to really stand on his own and be like that guy that you would build a company around.
Yeah, I hear
like,
you.
He's a perfect mid-tier guy, like so intercontinental, like U.S. title kind of guy. But he was never, to me, world championship material.
But it takes.
I'm glad that he at least got a 2 day run out of it, but he was never really championship material.
That one more match gimmick that he was doing was gold. That one more match shit was gold to me. But the difference between, say, the title exchanges of then, 1 day, 2 day, reigns of then versus someone who holds a belt. And again, granted, this is the U.S. title. This is like the straggling. It's the ugly stepchild of mid-card belts for the WWE.
It's like the never open weight title if you compare it to like New Japan.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying it's a WCW product. It's so second rate. It doesn't even fucking matter. But
there was a time when it was like first introduced on SmackDown and the tournament for it.
Uh-huh.
And then two guys that aren't even alive anymore had that match at, or the final match at, I think it was Vengeance of like 2007 or something like that.
But the philosophy of the belts.
That match was really good, and then they really put importance on that title. But anything that's a WCW creation gets treated poorly by WWE.
Yeah.
Because they are still bitter that WCW almost put them out of business, even though at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that still exist, and that drives me insane.
Okay.
Because we still see it 15 years later.
All right, let's stay on track.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just. So the difference between that, I mean, the philosophies of the belts have changed drastically since, and the lack there of superstars in the WWE, on top of the fact that I'm sitting here looking at this second-rate mid-card belt, and it's a bone thrown to someone who can potentially be the next, a big star for the company. Okay, this is his bone. When the U.S. Open Challenge with John Cena, I said it once, I said it a billion times. It was not about that U.S. belt. And anyone who sits back and argues, I'm not even gonna play into the argument or entertain the idea that, the prestige of the U.S. belt came back with the U.S. Open Challenge. Like, no, that was
no, it didn't.
It was,
and if it did, it was completely washed away after that whole thing.
Yeah, it was always about Cena. It was just. It was about Cena and high work rate matches, and that's it.
The guy that he's wrestling in work rate matches.
Yeah, that's all that was. So we look at Kalisto, right? We look at this guy. He's in an unfortunate situation that actually works out in his favor by having his tag team partner Sin Cara go down with an injury. They've been, teasing, giving him nice hot tags and teasing the idea of a Kalisto sort of shining, thing. And then let's just fast forward to the debut of SmackDown on USA. They're like, okay, let's put the rocket on this guy, all right? We're not only going to have him beat Del Rio on the debut of SmackDown on USA, we're going to have him out there with Cena. So that was like a double rub, triple rub.
Well, he beat him on Raw.
No, he beat him on SmackDown first.
Well, he beat him on SmackDown, but he won the title on Raw.
I know. Just hear me out.
Okay.
So he gets the victory, right? And then he gets the title shot. I mean, just the fact that you had Cena out there cheering him on like a bona fide cheerleader out there. Like that's like a rub like, okay, keep your eye on this kid. He gets his fucking title shot on Raw. He wins the belt. And you're thinking, okay, Lucha, kids, mask. We got a brand new star over the past couple of months outside of what they've done with Roman Reigns and a little bit with Kevin Owens. We got a guy with a firm future. Then we get to SmackDown, and this motherfucker drops the belt with a busted ass Wade Barrett distraction. And not only does he tap out, he taps out like immediately because he was already in that arm breaker, and then he gets into another one after a crash and burn. And it's like you made this guy look like a complete pathetic imbecile. Not only do they take the title away, they make him a chump, they make him an idiot, and now it's like, now what? It blows my mind. I would love to be in that creative room, right? I would love to be in like the war room when they all decide it's like, you know what? We're just going to put the belt back on Del Rio, okay? Everyone's all in, hands in, 1, 2, 3, SmackDown. Like, it blew my mind. That kid doesn't deserve this. And yet again, it's another guy coming up from NXT that's getting the runaround. I can't take him seriously anymore. I think it's going to take me years to get past this. I mean,
I think you're taking this way too out of proportion. I think Kalisto will be fine.
No, he will not.
Yes, I do. Because he is what they wanted Sin Cara to be. Being that he is Rey Mysterio's replacement. And that's what they needed because they knew that Rey, his knees weren't going to hold up and that he was on his way out, and look where he is now. But Kalisto is going to be somebody that people will remember for years to come because that is how WWE wants to present it.
It's going to be a while.
They didn't they had Kalisto win the title. Then they had him drop it back to Del Rio. Like I said, I don't understand why they did it. A lot of people were jumping to conclusions on Twitter like they usually do, saying that Kalisto was buried. He was not. Get a dictionary, look up the word buried, and
I wouldn't
you
use
will find
buried.
out that he was not.
I wouldn't use the term buried. He was humiliated.
That might be a better term, but I still wouldn't go that far. I think he's going to be okay. Regardless of what you may think, he's not any more worse off than he was prior to winning the title.
I think he is.
Let's just put it that way.
I think this is a shame. It's a shame. And moving on.
But WWE likes to tell stories. They're in the business of telling stories.
Story's already bad. It's already bad.
They may tell a story to where Kalisto can get back into the U.S. title picture.
No.
And eventually win the title back and have a legit run with it.
No.
You never know. There's always...
No.
The door is always open for that to happen.
No. This is dumb. They're done with him. And actually, what's to become a Del Rio? Now, the whole idea that I thought, initially is that, okay, he's going to drop the strap to a guy they've been giving the rub to over the past, week. And then he's going to use that as an opportunity to focus on the WWE Heavyweight Championship via the Royal Rumble. I mean, that was the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, okay, I'm happy for Kalisto, but now what with Del Rio? And I think whatever decision that was made to put the belt back on Del Rio was to whatever focus they had on him at the Royal Rumble, they changed their minds to. Like, I had this idea that he was going to either A, be in the Final Four or possibly win it. Like, if you really break it down, and that U.S. belt don't need to be around his waist as he does that, right? So I wonder what were the plans they had for Del Rio as well. Did he get sort of, not necessarily de-pushed, or was... I just like to think how far up the main roster storyline was he going to go, and who's to say? I just go, when he got that belt back, I just felt like it was all right. We change our mind on both of these guys. and will we see them in the next couple of months? So, yeah. Do you think there was going to be something done with Del Rio?
Honestly, no. And it pains me to say that because Del Rio is like one of my favorite wrestlers. But I don't think they're planning on doing anything with him past the U.S. title.
But why would they even go through great lengths to bring him back, to have him beat Cena, hold the belt, give a young kid the rub without thinking that, a formal WWE heavyweight champion, a 40-man Royal Rumble winner? I just go, that's just, what's the use? I mean, what's the use of having him just as basically a social outcast? I mean, like, what the fuck?
No pun intended.
Yeah. Like, he's better.
I don't know, but it's like Del Rio to me would really benefit from the era of, remember when he was there the first time, there was 2 world titles. There was the WWE title and there was the world title. But they don't have that anymore, and now guys like Del Rio will suffer because of that.
Whenever they have like they did last Monday when they got all the people standing out on the ramp and shit, when they was starting to do, like, whenever, I think, what is it, John Cena, that's when John Cena decided to, he decided that he would face Daniel Bryan in SummerSlam. Del Rio, I think, was the big gold holder at the time.
He was.
And he was out there waiting to be called on to face John Cena for the WWE belt. And I go, but he's already a world champion. What the fuck is he doing standing out there?
Exactly. That's why, like, it
had to go.
Yeah. But I still, like, now that you think about it, they could have done, like, let's say that Cena didn't pick Daniel Bryan to wrestle him at SummerSlam 2013. The other way I would have went is he pick Del Rio to wrestle, and then they unify the belts at SummerSlam, because I still think, I don't mind that they unified the belts, but doing it at TLC was kind of weird because nobody remembers TLC.
Nobody does.
Exactly.
You remember what I remember most about that entire thing was when Cena came out with both. I guess he came out for the last time with both belts. Ric Flair came out and he gave him the big gold and he walked off. And I go, all right, it's been real. That's what I remember more than anything about the entire, like, face of the company and unifying the belts. It's hard to believe that was 2 years ago.
You want to know how much I didn't care about that pay-per-view? I didn't even order it.
Damn.
I watched it, but I didn't order it.
Yeah, wasn't that the TLC that Big Show pinned Eric Rowan with stairs?
The steel stairs match? Yes, it was.
Yep.
Awful.
That pissed me off more than anything. But yeah, so, all right, let's talk about last week's Raw. Let's talk about the authority angle. Let's talk about the one versus all match. The only thing that stood out really in that entire episode was, the performance of Becky Lynch. She's doing really well for herself. I'm happy. She's always kind of been my girl. I don't know if you remember me saying that she was going to be the first out of the Divas to win the championship. They got the call up.
They got called up.
Yeah. And
well, you were wrong.
I know I was wrong, but I still see she's still getting the rub right now. And,
no, I know.
And it's pretty impressive that they just overlooked Sasha Banks. And when they were talking about the Sasha Banks versus Becky, was it the Sasha Banks Becky Lynch match where there was boring chance to Brooklyn? And all I could think was like, dude, this is not about Sasha Banks. This is about Becky Lynch. So as much as y'all talk about, we want Charlotte, but this has nothing to do with Charlotte. Becky Lynch is getting the rub. And I think she's getting the rub now because who's ever deciding what's happening with the Divas, they see that this girl is the most seasoned out of. She's older. She's been in the ring longer. She's been cutting promos a lot longer. And it's starting to show where she's separating herself from the rest of the bunch. Because as much as people like to think Sasha Banks is this awesome promo, I don't think she's a great promo. I think she's just sassy. You know? Anyone can be sassy.
Her wrestling is good. Her promos are hurt by her accent.
Who are you talking about?
Are you talking about Becky Lynch, or are you talking about?
Well, I was saying Sasha Banks. Even though Sasha's a better wrestler than Becky, I think her.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well,
I'd say Becky's a better wrestler than Sasha Banks.
It's all arbitrary, you know. We can pick at and things this that, but I'm saying in general, when watching a match, the match, let's just say the body of work that I've seen from both of them. Sasha Banks has impressed me more. But her promo skills aren't that great. She's just sassy. You know, she's the boss. She's just playing an arrogant, sort of sassy woman. And I think that doesn't take a lot of ability. And you could tell that she's still trying to remember her lines and stuff. Becky, on the other hand, and take what she did with the promo last week, she was pissed off. When the last time we seen someone cut a promo who was just genuinely pissed off and really showed emotion, let you in, you know, what's the word? She made herself vulnerable to you, you know, like, and she was able to deliver it, and you believed it. And I go, man, what they're doing with her, and her taking the ball and running with it with all these injuries. And you remember, dude, at one point we had 6. What was it? The 3 girls came up, so you had Becky, you had Paige. Sorry, I already had Paige there. Becky, Banks, and Charlotte. Then you had Paige. Then you had the Bella Twins, and you had Naomi, and then you had Tamina. So we're talking about like
and they did. Are you talking about the 9-woman 3-team?
Yeah.
Match that they did at a pay-per-view?
I'm just saying, all of a sudden we had 9 women on the roster that was trying to get some airtime, and now it's only 3 chicks. 3 chicks. We've only seen 3 chicks over the past 2 weeks. That's Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Brie Bella.
So much for the Divas Revolution.
Ain't it though?
Well, the Divas Revolution was dead from the very start.
It had promise. As soon as I saw Stephanie McMahon, I was like, nah, this is right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She completely killed it.
Yeah.
Because whenever, I think that was like the second week of it, where she came out and she tried to make it about herself. And that's not going to work.
Nope. Especially when we try
she killed it dead.
Focus on having new stars. So this Roman Reigns 1 versus all. When going into the main event, well, actually, the whole show itself.
Dumb.
Yeah, what was your thoughts on the lead up, the build up, and then the actual match was Owens versus Reigns, and it was a headlock mania.
the build I thought was fine. I thought the way they set it up was fine. The match made no sense because it was 1 versus all, but yet it was just Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. I didn't understand that. WWE doesn't understand the definition of a 1 versus all match.
I think it was apparently like 1 versus Owens. I think that's what they were going for. One versus all Owens. All Owens. So yeah,
that's dumb.
Yeah, it sure was. But and then you had Brock Lesnar, right? And you didn't put him out as soon as the fucking show starts, right? God almighty. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, going into these Raws, so I'll say this. I'm still just kind of eating popcorn, watching the show, and seeing where they're attempting to make change. 'Cause I see it, man. I don't know if you've been listening to the last Peter and Jake's. I've been very indifferent about the product because I'm looking at it as if they're making changes. The Kalisto thing was a change that I saw happening, but then they fucked that up, right? But I still see something going, and ultimately, if I was to look at anything, regardless of the introduction of new stars and this, that, and the other, awaiting what's going to happen at WrestleMania, or even the people coming on from New Japan and all that shit. I just want the authority gone, man. Like, can we just get rid of the authority storyline? And that's what I'm paying the most attention to. Bit by bit, circumstance by circumstance. Triple H having his ass handed to him by Roman Reigns, right? Vince McMahon losing his cool. Stephanie McMahon not being able to allow to neuter Roman Reigns. If anything, Roman Reigns is outwitting her. And her having a meltdown and beating up Tom Phillips. I'm thinking at some point there's going to be something where somebody's going to step in. Like, just say OSHA or some shit. I'm still waiting for a Tom Phillips like lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey, unsafe work environments and this. And then Triple H just, and all these things. It's like, no, you guys got to go away for now. It's like someone steps in. No more authority, guys. Get the fuck out of here, and we're gonna put in a fair. What's his name? McGuinness. What's for ROH?
Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel McGuinness, a fair general manager. Just a fair. He keeps the playing field fair, right? He doesn't need to show favor to one side because he's good, or show favor to another side because he's bad. He's just right there in the middle, like what they do with NXT and Regal. If the bad guy has his claim, he listens to it. He doesn't go, well, you have a point. You can get your way. But the playing field is always fair. And I feel like we can do that with the WWE. How long have we been going with authority storyline?
Since SummerSlam 2013.
Before that?
No.
I'm looking at it when Vince McMahon...
SummerSlam 2013 was when Triple H pedigreed Daniel Bryan, and that's where it started.
I'm not talking about the authority. I'm talking about an authority line.
Forever?
Like, yeah, whoever the fuck is, like Vince McMahon. Like, as soon as he was exposed as... the higher power, the guy running the show, then boom. Ever since, something as simple as people on the ramp. Like, I hate that because you got heels and faces all standing together, right? Regardless of whatever feud that's going on, it can never exceed what the owner of the company has for them. So, okay, I have a blood feud with, I don't know, let's just say Goldust, right? And then all of a sudden I got to stand out there with him like our feud doesn't exist, while the boss, the owner, is manipulating, I guess, the top babyface at the time. And I go like, what about us, man? Like, you just cut all of our fucking money. You just took money right out of our pockets because people want to see us go at each other's throats rather than stand out like a bunch of jabronis and listen to you set up some sort of situation. Like, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? So, what? Yeah, I mean, you speak on something. Speak on it.
What do you need me to talk on?
The authoritative figure. I mean,
no, I think it's played out. I mean, there was a meme that I tweeted out not too long ago that the authority has kicked off like the last 5 Raws, and if you look at the screenshots of the meme that I posted a week ago, it's all been the same. And it's like ever since, I believe it was the Attitude Era when Austin and McMahon became a thing, where it's like that was when it was red hot and they can't get away from it. And they've been trying to recycle and recreate the Austin versus McMahon storyline with somebody else, and plugging in Triple H and Vince McMahon's role, and plugging in like Roman Reigns and Stone Cold's role. And it doesn't work because you can only catch lightning in a bottle once. You're lucky if you can do it twice, but usually it's only a one-time thing where you can actually get that to happen.
And It's something about, stunning Steve Austin, the million. What was his the ring master? I mean, when he became Stone Cold and he was feuding with Vince McMahon, it wasn't his first rodeo. He's been doing it for years. By the time he started being like the anti-authority, badass, drink beer, middle finger, motherfucker, right? So you take this guy's green as goose shit. So and plus, Austin just has a knack he just has charisma, He just it's basically himself turned up, right? That's what Stone Cold Steve Austin was. So it fit. So he was ready for that role, and you didn't have to do much guiding with him. You didn't have to talk more to prevent him from not talking. If anything, you wanted him to talk. You wanted him to show charisma. You wanted him to sort of just be an anti-hero, And the thing with Roman Reigns, he's being protected. He'll be in the opening segment, and at one point, you'll forget that he's actually out there. And they're trying to make him into the next Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? It amazes me.
I wouldn't say they're trying to make him into the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think they're trying to make him into the next Rock. But
the
ability-wise, The Rock had a lot more ability than Roman Reigns. On the microphone, he was a natural fit. In the ring, he didn't start out great, but he eventually developed into the star that they needed him to be. The difference between The Rock and Roman Reigns was that The Rock wasn't forced. Like Roman Reigns is being forced down our throats every freaking week.
Yep.
It's like they're in panic mode now almost because they've been able to rely on John Cena for years and years and years. And no one has been able to step up. And now they're in panic mode because they're like, oh shit, John Cena is at this point being held together by duct tape and paper clips. And eventually he's injured now, but eventually he's not going to be able to come back. And they are trying to prepare for a future without John Cena. And they're doing a terrible job first of all, they were doing a terrible job of building stars when John Cena was around or is around. And they're doing a terrible job of building stars in John Cena's absence. Because, yes, you can build a company around one guy, but you also need a supporting cast of characters to be able to help that guy and accentuate his positives. And that's why, I hate the Attitude Era, but if you look back at the Attitude Era, you look at all the top, I'd say 6 people on the roster at the time, all of them were able to, if someone got injured, you were able to take, let's say Steve Austin got injured, you could take Triple H, and you could push Triple H.
Yep.
You could push The Rock. You could push The Undertaker. You could push Kane. There's so many more options, where if Roman Reigns were to get injured, they would be fucked.
Oh, that's what I was going to get at. Not only is all their eggs in one basket, that basket has holes in it. And not only holes in terms of the capability of Roman Reigns, but he's only one guy. And they flat out refuse. I mean, it's a flat out refusal to give anyone else a rub. And that's why, the whole Kalisto thing, it's just that's why I'm thrown off, because there are no stars. Back then, you said it perfectly. If one guy got hurt, you could just plug another guy in. Just like that. Because
that's exactly what they did.
Everybody was in their 30s to mid-30s, almost into their 40s. They've been in the company for a while. They've developed their characters without a shadow of a doubt. If given the opportunity, they would step up and do the thing. And this is why, we enjoy that past, because all those guys were ready. They were just ready, and no one's ready right now. And not only is no one ready, they're not even giving people the chance to get ready. And I blame the fans too, for the whole youth movement thing. I think everybody wants everyone to get a big push, and everyone wants to get a big push to like these young guys who are like 23, 24, 25 years old. And I go like, there's going to be time for these guys. So Kalisto, I wouldn't be as upset about him dropping the strap after 24 hours if it wasn't for the fact that there was a groundswell of like fan support to make him into something really fast. You know?
Yeah.
Let's make him into something really fast. Let's make Kevin Owens into something really fast. Let's make these guys, let's put the strap on him. Finn Balor, he needs to be on the main roster. Like, no one needs to be in the Royal Rumble right now. You know, no one needs to hurry up and get to the main roster. What happens is you need to develop more. And if you start them off at a ceiling, if you already put them at the ceiling, they have no other place but to go down, especially at such a young age. You know, and there's no elder statesmen ahead of them that are at least healthy, or even elder statesmen to plug and play. You know, like you said, like this guy's down, let's plug this guy in. You know, right now the elder statesmen are Randy Orton, John Cena, Mark Henry, Goldust, injured and non-injured. I'm just saying in general. Like, who else? A Big Show, Kane. And that's it. That's really it. Everyone else
Pretty much.
Huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about this Royal Rumble. Well, first of all, no, you don't watch SmackDown. I don't care. You don't care. Jerry.
Well, I've been watching it live the last couple weeks because it's been like I've been home on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Like the reason I don't watch it is because I'm usually not home on Thursday, but now I am until February 11th. Or I'll watch it on DVR. But I've always just said it's like I'll watch it because it's there, but if you miss SmackDown, you don't miss much.
Well, I mean, I see them attempting to make it something. They need to be live at least once a month. Do a Super SmackDown like on Tuesday.
Well, and that's what I was hoping that they would do if they brought it to the USA Network, because that was the rumor that I was always hearing via the internet, where they wanted to bring it live, or they wanted to bring it to USA Network, but they wanted to go live on Tuesday night. But that's not happening.
They don't have to do every Tuesday night. If they did at least once a month a Super SmackDown, or once every 3 months a Super SmackDown, I'm totally fine with that. But
or just do once a month.
Yeah, Mauro Ranallo is awesome to listen to. And then you got Jerry the King Lawler, who is turning heel now. He's a heel commentator now, which is awesome.
He's still awful, and he still needs to go away.
But it's refreshing not to hear him talk shit. You know, it's funny. A heel King Lawler is refreshing. How ironic does that sound?
It's not very refreshing because he still goes on and on about God knows what. And they were the first SmackDown where Mauro Ranallo was there. They were trying to Mauro sounded really smart and intelligent, and he was actually trying to call the matches where the other two clowns were just goofing around and not taking anything seriously.
Well, I feel like Byron Saxton has stepped up. It was needed that someone clearly needs to be the voice of the heels. You know, like it's always kind of like, you know, with say JBL, you never know whose side he's like obviously on, because he'll be talking smack about, say, I don't know, he'll be talking smack about, like, you know, like, say maybe not Roman Reigns, he'll be talking smack about, I don't know, I'm trying to think, it's never definite of who he's actually on the side of. Like, he'll sing the praises of Roman Reigns, but then he'll go after Kalisto, kind of thing. You know, like, what are you doing? You know, he'll sort of side with the New Day, but then he'll talk shit about the Wyatts.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, where are you going, JBL? Like, what are you doing? And then sometimes he's smarter than both Cole and I guess King or whoever the hell's out there now. Who's out there? It's Byron Saxton. He's the voice of reason beyond both of those guys. But a heel King Lawler is a definitive. This guy's definitive to who you should boo and who you should cheer. And it's never going to show favoritism towards one heel and then not show favoritism towards another. It's like, no, I'm showing favoritism to all the heels. And if you're a good guy, 9 times out of 10, you're a jerk. And I like that. I really, really enjoy that. And watching the last 2 SmackDowns, he kind of eased himself into that sort of like him. You know, he'll start off and can't really tell, but by the end of the show, he's like, "Fuck the faces, man. Those guys are assholes."
Yeah. I don't like the commentary though, like being as flip floppy as it is, because, and I don't think that's Vince McMahon in their ear telling them, "Well, you need to do this, you need to do this. At this point, I want you to do this." It's like one guy needs to be a heel, one guy needs a face. I wish WWE would go back to the 2-man booth.
Yes.
WCW and Monday Nitro. Totally, like, they invented the concept of or they didn't invent it, but they kind of started the whole wave of having a 3-man team. And because you had Tony Schiavone, you had Bobby Heenan, you had Mike Tenay.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought that it was too much.
Yeah.
And WWE, because they were competing with WCW, eventually went to the 3-man commentary team. But the way it is now with like on Raw, JBL, King, and Michael Cole, when he wants to be, can be a very good commentator. Like when he's trying to call the matches, but half the time everything he says that's intelligent is lost in JBL and Jerry Lawler's stupidity. Mm-hmm. Because they keep bickering back and forth with each other, and it's dumb.
Yeah.
The only thing you need on commentary is a competent play-by-play person, which is Michael Cole, and somebody who can do color, which you don't need JBL to do it. You don't need Jerry Lawler to do it. If it was up to me, I would get rid of both of them because they're worthless and bring in Tom Phillips to do color. But they're never going to do that. But something on the commentary team drastically needs to change.
I know Ranallo, his voice is so booming.
Him too.
Yeah, Thursday, it started off slow, and by the end of the episode, they were all kind of clicking. But it was just that first 15 minutes was like definitely, you could try to see everyone, because there'd be moments where there'd be just dead silence, which is nothing wrong with that. But you could see they were still trying to figure out what to do. And even though, Byron Saxton, he's been doing, on the WWE, he's been in the booth for a little while. I wouldn't call him a newbie now anymore.
Well, he was trying to be a wrestler, and then he changed to being a commentator.
Yeah. But saying King, even though they're a 3-man team, I think Byron and King have worked together on Raw. And Ranallo, and just the fact that he's fully capable, but there's still a certain amount of chemistry that needs to be there. And I think, I would like to think, if they keep this up, I think they will be better than the 3-man commentary for Raw, Michael Cole, JBL, and Byron Saxton. I think you'd be more better suited, especially if they allow Ranallo to call the moves. That's the thing, man. He's calling the moves. Joey Styles, and was something he complained about. One of the things he hated about working in the booth is that you weren't able to call the moves. And maybe they're going to have a discussion with Mauro about that. I hope not.
I can see them doing that.
God.
I honestly could. Like, I made the joke when I was watching the first SmackDown that Mauro called, I'm like, yeah, Vince McMahon is going to pull him aside the next week and tell him that he can't call moves, that he can't do this, and he can't do that.
Yeah.
Because Mauro was making the other commentators look like shit.
Yep.
And this was the first day on the job. I mean, he's done wrestling commentary before, but not like this.
Yeah. I mean, not
And-
in the sports entertainment capacity.
Exactly.
You have to throw everything in that sports entertainment capacity. And moving on, Royal Rumble, man. I guess since we've had our discussion last week, the lost tapes, who do you have? We'll just make it like this. Okay, the landscape has changed now that we know for sure that Brock Lesnar is going to be in the Royal Rumble. Who do you have in your final four, and who do you have winning it all?
Final four would be Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. I'm trying to think of 4 healthy guys that could possibly be in there. Final four. Dean Ambrose
Dean, okay.
for third, and I'm going to say Bray Wyatt.
Okay. I have, and he hasn't announced it yet, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and that dark horse is going to be, I like to think that it's going to be Alberto Del Rio.
I like that.
Yeah.
Who do you have winning then?
I have Roman Reigns.
Okay, same here.
I think there's going to be a partnership between. I think there's going to be a bit of a partnership between Triple H and Roman Reigns to get rid of Brock Lesnar, and then you're going.
That would be so weird.
And then and I feel like Del Rio is going to, who's supposed to be, and then they're going to turn Del Rio and Triple H. And Del Rio's, I guess the story arc would be that Del Rio tries to turn on Triple H, then he gets dumped by Reigns because they just partnered up, and now this goon is trying to take out Triple H, where the two of them are standing in the ring, and I think it's just going to turn into a Superman punch out of the ring, where he's going to go belly up. He's going to catch a Superman punch, and he's going to fucking go Ric Flair on the motherfucker. He's going to go flying over the buckle like he just got, like he was like Shawn Michaels in his match with Hogan, where he like oversold everything. So we'll see how it turns out. And that's the thing. I don't know how it turns out, though. Like, how does the story move forward? That's what I don't know. Because I can say, Brock Lesnar win, and then this happens moving forward. Oh, Roman Reigns can win, and this goes in moving forward. Triple H can win, and that moves forward. Like, I couldn't tell you. Like, I have no idea going into Fastlane what the landscape of the WWE is going to be going into WrestleMania.
And that's part of the fun of being a wrestling fan, because for the longest time, WWE has been so predictable. And people will watch Raw and say, oh, they're going to do this. Oh, they're going to do this. And they sit on Twitter and they'll guess at what's going to happen, and then that kind of takes the fun away from it. And it's like, I'm guilty of doing the same thing. But for the first time in a long time, a company that has been very predictable has kind of that unpredictability to it, because we don't know how the Royal Rumble is going to look like. Who's going to win? I mean, there's obvious candidates who could win the Royal Rumble, but we have no idea at this point what the WrestleMania card is even going to look like. So the next 4 months could be very interesting for this company.
Who's the surprise? Who makes a return? Who makes the surprise?
There's going to be 2 surprises. Actually, no, I'm going to go with 1. Based on what I've heard, because of the 4 guys that have been signed from New Japan, I'm hearing that 3 of them are going to NXT, and 1 of them is going straight up to the main roster. So I believe that a surprise at the Royal Rumble will be the debut of AJ Styles.
Yes. Okay. Who returns? The old guy. Who got to have the old guy.
Who would I like to see return? That I haven't seen within the last couple of years. I really don't know. I honestly don't.
Let's just say, would you like a... Does Razor Ramon show up, man?
No.
He does not show up.
No, he's too out of shape. Well, he's not out of shape, but he's too old.
How about Ted DiBiase Jr.?
No, because no one would care.
I would.
Seriously?
Yeah, I was a Ted fan. A big Ted fan.
What did he do to make you a fan of his?
I think I just liked him. I liked his look. I liked his ability. I liked when he was doing the whole, like, when it came out, he was doing the DiBiase posse stuff. I thought it was pretty neat.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a fan. I mean, he has the look. I was like, this guy is $1 million. You know what he looks like to me? He's like a better version of, like, Mike Bennett. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's not hard to do, though.
I know. And plus that pedigree, whatever, man. I just saw him as something. Okay, how about this? Ooh, God, because I'm thinking, what if they really went back and, like, really pull somebody out, like, out the woodworks, like a Farouk? you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But that's the fun part about it. I mean, 3 years ago, I guess that The Godfather would show up. And sure enough, the motherfucker showed up, right? But who's going to be that guy? Like, who could you even dust off and put into the ring and they get, like, a payday, a hell of a deal?
See, I don't even know, because I don't even know who's healthy and who is somebody who they could bring back, and it's hard to say.
Is Booker T in it? He's no longer in the booth anymore.
He could be.
Do we see a DDP?
But I just question why he put him there.
For fun. For a spinneroonie?
But
we get a diamond cutter.
Yeah, but we've seen
DDP.
that in the Royal Rumble before.
Huh?
We've seen it in the Royal Rumble.
It never gets
Rumble
old.
Before.
It never gets old. It never gets old. But you know how I feel about Booker T. A Diamond Dallas Page?
Yeah. That's a real possibility.
How about Cody Rhodes?
I would love that, because I hate Stardust with a living, breathing passion. So if we got Stardust to fuck off and we got Cody Rhodes back, I would absolutely love that.
Sting.
No. He's done.
No Sting.
I don't even think we're going to get Sting Undertaker at WrestleMania. I think Sting is done. Especially since, I mean, they're inducting him into the Hall of Fame this year, and they pretty much in the video package spoke about him as if he is retired, which he hasn't made an official statement, but I've heard reports and I've read things that suggest that he is retired.
Yeah, we still don't know if Christian's retired yet. And speaking of that, I see Christian showing up.
So a wasted spot, basically.
No, dude, that'd be awesome. The Peeps, man. I'm one of the Peeps, man.
Marshmallow Peeps are gross, so you can just go ahead and do that. His theme song is awful, by the way.
I love it. I love that theme song so much.
Trash.
So much. I mean, you got Tyler Breeze out there taking his fucking move, so maybe that was like foreshadowing.
The first version of that theme song was way better.
The girl version?
Yes.
Yeah, I like both of them. I just dig the shit out of it. So, okay. I guess the last thing we'll speak on it, and we dabbled in it, the return of, the debut of the New Japan guys, again last week in the Lost Tapes. We dabbled a little bit with the idea of what to do, who's really coming in, because since then, has been putting his name into the hat of him possibly showing up. The son of what the hell is his name? He's in the Bullet Club. He wears the face paint. He has the big beard.
Tama Tonga.
Yeah, Tama Tonga. There's been talks of him not renewing his contract with New Japan, and
well, and you're familiar with the New Japan contract system, right?
No, I'm not.
New Japan only signs people for 1-year deals.
Oh, wow.
So everybody's contract right now is currently up and being renegotiated.
I see.
But now with all these raids that are going on, I think New Japan is going to reconsider their system and maybe put some guys on 2 or multi-year deals. Because at this point, they're going to have to. Otherwise, they're going to keep getting raided from year to year. Because it will be no secret that these guys' contracts are coming up.
You see, I imagine there's no more real poaching, I guess, after this, really. I mean, if a guy decides he wants to leave, I'm not going to make that the fault of the WWE. Right? You can't hold WWE accountable for the fact that everybody wants to be on the WWE roster, once you think about it. You got all these kids down in Evolve that want to be so bad on the main roster of WWE. You got the kids at NXT that want a main roster contract. So, if you're a seasoned vet and you look at a guy like Nakamura, I can't fault him for wanting to just do something else. And I think, I'm glad that...
I can't either. With Nakamura, I'm completely fine with it. I mean, yeah, New Japan is going to lose something huge. Because I've always said it, Nakamura, to me, and I wrote an article about it a while ago on EyeSonTheRing.com. It was part of a roundtable. But I said that Shinsuke Nakamura is the best wrestler in the world right now. And I'm not just talking his wrestling ability, I'm talking his character. There's nothing like this guy.
Yeah.
And so it needs to be seen in America. I hope it's not drastically changed. I made a joke on Twitter a while ago that said when he gets signed, he's going to be brought up and he's going to be a sushi chef. But I really hope that doesn't happen. I hope they keep him as true to his New Japan character as humanly possible. But he deserves to have his run in America because there's nothing that he could do in New Japan Pro Wrestling that he hasn't done yet.
Nothing like anyone's ever seen. Now, the closest of them actually doing something with him where it would almost come off as sort of suspect is making him into a Godzilla character. Like, that's the only thing I'm thinking because he is massive. He's probably one of the biggest dudes in wrestling right now in terms of size. What is he, like 6'8", 240? This guy, who?
Who are you talking about?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
No, you're thinking about Bad Luck Fale.
No. Nakamura is like 6'7".
No, he's not.
I'm going to look that shit up. He is tall as a hell.
He's like 6'4".
Well, we'll see. But still, that's pretty tall. It's not like we see a bunch of Japanese guys over 6 feet. Right? How tall is Kenta?
5'11", roughly.
How tall was
Nakamura is 6'2".
What?
But he's not that tall.
He's tall as fuck enough. Maybe because when I watch him in like ROH, I guess the last time I saw him in ROH, he went up against who? He went up against Roderick Strong. Right?
Well, he faced Adam Cole, he faced Roderick Strong, he faced a bunch of people.
And he sky towered over those guys, though.
But he's like, you got to remember that on the indie scene, dudes are small.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So it makes him look big, but he's not 7 feet tall.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So
you're thinking of Bad Luck Fale.
No, I'm not thinking about Bad Luck Fale. I know he's a big guy. I'm talking about Nakamura. I see him in the ring, and in ROH when he was over in ROH, and hell, even in his matches, even in his match against AJ Styles, I mean, he just looked like a good foot taller than everyone he's been in the ring with. But let's do some fantasy booking, shall we? And we'll close this bitch out. we talk about how Nakamura shows up. How does he debut? What day does he show up?
I honestly don't know. I would almost debut him at a NXT live special.
I don't see him doing that.
What do you think he's going to do then? Because that's the only thing I can really think of. I don't know how they could debut this guy. The only thing that would make sense is if WWE were to announce like their next WWE Live Network special taking place in Japan, and then you could debut him there.
Day after WrestleMania.
That's another thing I'm hearing too.
Yeah, day after WrestleMania, and I like to think that he starts his feud with the New Day. And this is fantasy booking, folks. All right. And not only
You're
does
making
he
me do something I completely hate, but go ahead.
I think it could be something entertaining. I think it could break up that New Day gimmick. I think it could, because I'm sick of it. I think it's run its course, because it's just becoming so and so, like, it's becoming less and less what it originally was, that now it's just buffoonery. And I think it hit a ceiling at some point, because I don't see it lessening down to just be more like annoying. I think you could do more with Xavier Wood. So that's the point I was coming to.
Okay.
He could show up, Nakamura. He starts his feud with the New Day. Like, they are out there acting like a bunch of damn idiots. Boom. His music hits. Right? He walks out. It's Nakamura. And he's about like, look at you idiots, man. Fuck y'all, right? He starts his feud with them. Come to find out, Xavier Wood turns on Big E and Kofi, becomes the mouthpiece for Nakamura.
I don't think that's going to happen. I
know it's not going to happen.
I think Nakamura he can speak English just fine.
Like what? Like us?
Not like us, but his English for a foreigner is very, very good. And he will be just fine speaking on his own.
Okay. I'm just fantasy booking.
So I don't think you give him a mouthpiece. No, I understand that you're fantasy booking. I'm just saying, like, I don't think they're going to give him a mouthpiece because I don't think he needs it.
I'm gonna go look for some videos of him speaking English just to because I have yet to look to see if he speaks, to see how well he speaks English. But if it's like Yoshitatsu, like no, he's not gonna be out there cutting promos. Hell, if he's even Kenta, like, and Yoshi speaks better English than Kenta.
Well, yeah, but that's not hard to do.
I know. I'm just saying I'm trying to gauge the level of how well he speaks or how bad English he speaks. So. Are there interviews of him floating around, him speaking English?
That I don't know. You would have to look.
Oh,
but I've heard a few of them, and he's not that bad of an English speaker.
Okay, all right. So what do you have him debuting? You say he'd do like a network special.
Well, him debuting the Raw after WrestleMania was something that I thought of them doing, but if they wanted to do like another WWE network special from Japan, then I would debut him there, because the entire reason why they signed Nakamura was because they're launching the network in Japan and they need a guy to help sell the network. But that person was supposed to be Kenta or Hideo Itami, and he hasn't worked out. So they needed to sign somebody. And that's why they're signing. That's why they signed Nakamura.
But I think they signed him because they're just genuinely interested in working with him. I mean, just like the Beast in the East.
Well, that too. But I think that they want. I think that the main reason why they signed him isn't because of that. I think it's because they see money in him to be able to sell the network. because in Japan, because Japanese fans will need a guy that they can gravitate to and that they are familiar with.
You don't think
and
that
he's a guy that they're very familiar with.
You don't think Japanese fans are already hip to the product?
Well, they are, but I'm saying they want like
their own.
Put it this way: if you lived, let's see, how can I? Let's say you lived in Japan, and you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling all the time, and then let's say Japan were to sign John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
That would be to cater to the American fan that isn't that familiar with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's not to get the people because I know there's people from Japan that watch WWE on the regular.
I'd imagine
but I think it's to get your Japanese casual fan hooked on the product. Because a casual will be like, oh, Nakamura's there, so I want to see that.
I would only imagine that there's a hell of more Japanese people watching the WWE product than, say, an American watching New Japan product. I'll put that out there. I mean, I see your analogy. I was thinking you was like, well, what if, like India or something? If, all of a sudden India has a network, they want to sign like a big American big American name to get more people to watch their product. I don't know. It's just hard to use America as the other way around because we're not likely to check out anything outside of America, right?
I am, but I'm like your typical casual viewer won't. Like because I got New Japan World, and I watch AAA and CMLL regularly.
Yeah, but
not everybody else does.
Yeah, I don't even think there's a percentage of wrestling Americans in general, American wrestling fans that could give two shits about anything outside the WWE. Or I just go.
And that's a real shame.
Yeah,
because even your other American promotions like ROH and like PWG and Evolve and stuff like that, they really have something good. And it's like that's my issue where people that complain about WWE all the time, it's like they complain about WWE, yet A, they still watch it, and B, they're not willing to try something else.
Yeah.
And that is my issue with a lot of WWE fans.
Well, how about this? And I definitely say this, and you get last word, and we'll get off the air.
Good, because my Bluetooth battery is almost dead.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think no one has to know what's going on outside of WWE. If you're a casual fan, I have no problem with you being a casual fan. Like, when I first heard about New Japan, and started watching via Wrestle Kingdom 9 and all that stuff.
That's the first exposure you had to New Japan?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I remember you saying that last week on a lost episode. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah. Again, the only thing that Jeff Jarrett ever did that was worth the damn.
Yep.
But one of the discussions I had with Jake is that I don't know what this elitism about watching other promotions. I don't know where this is coming from.
Because
if you watch,
wrestling fans think that because they watch.
Hear me out.
Okay.
The elitism of having about ROH. All right, excellent. Okay, you know about PWG. Okay, great. You know about New Japan. I'm not going to hold it against a casual fan because they're called casual fans. If I didn't know who Nakamura was, it's not like I'm obligated as a wrestling fan or anybody who's a wrestling fan to know who the hell Nakamura is or who AJ Styles is or who Tanahashi is. I don't think there has to be this obligation to know who these guys are. If you get to know them, good for you for expanding your horizons. But I don't, since I've been watching it, it's not like I'm going, oh man, but New Japan is so much better than the WWE. Anybody who doesn't watch, or when someone asks a question on a message board about somebody from ROH, and everyone's pounding on them, who the fuck is this Dalton Castle guy? I like him, he's pretty cool. You don't watch ROH? I go chill the fuck out. It bothers me.
Well, it's it goes to what I said earlier. Like people that don't watch WWE that don't watch New Japan. It's like you've got the same people that probably like they watch New Japan in Japan, but they might not watch WWE. And it's like, so that's like all over the globe where you got all these casuals that they watch one thing and they prefer that. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's still wrestling.
But you said it was a shame.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if they want to watch WWE, if they want to watch whatever they want to watch, that is fine. But I'm just saying it's a shame for the people that watch WWE. Like if you watch WWE on weekly and you enjoy it, more power to you. Mm-hmm. But if you watch WWE on the weekly and you bitch and you complain about everything and you don't like it, then A, watch something else, and B, don't bitch and complain about WWE. That is my issue with some of these people because they're not willing to expand their horizons. They think they're stuck with WWE. And I say this on Eyes on the Ring every freaking week. You don't have to feel stuck with WWE because there's plenty more out there.
But at the same time, too, you have to take in consideration this WWE fan. He or she has, okay, you got Raw, SmackDown, NXT, but even the casual, but you have the option to watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours.
But even the casual WWE fan doesn't watch NXT.
That's what I'm saying. They have the option to watch NXT on top of, say, the 5 hours of programming between Raw and SmackDown. Maybe, just maybe, it's almost like podcasts, and I love my wrestling podcast, but I only listen to the ones that I listen to. Not because I don't want to expand my horizon and listen to others. I only have but so much time to consume it. I mean, there's other pieces to the, there's other slices in my pie of things that I have to do during the day. And consuming a product is part of that time. And I don't, a lot of people probably don't have the time to invest into watching ROH. They don't have the time to consume New Japan. Or to go looking for PWG and have to sit for 3 hours, sit for 5 hours to watch New Japan pay-per-view or something like that. Or
6 hours if you watch Wrestle Kingdom. Jesus Christ.
Huh?
6 hours if you watch Wrestle Kingdom. My God.
Yeah.
Great show, but way too long.
Yeah, and I think that's for the most part. I hope you got my analogy because I wish I could listen to more wrestling podcasts. But in my listening spectrum of a day that, I got my Dan Patrick show, I got my Solomonster on the weekends, I got my Steve Austin show, I got my PW Torch, right? And that's a lot of podcasts for me. And then sometimes I don't have the time to check out, one or the other because
mine are my lineup is Four Corners Radio. Then
Shake Them Ropes. I forgot Shake Them Ropes.
Shake Them Ropes. Well, okay, Shake Them Ropes, Four Corners Radio, and then Wrestling Heads Radio if I'm not on it. Because usually week to week I'm pretty much a regular on there now too.
Okay, yeah. PW Torch, I don't know if you ever listened to that, but I absolutely love that show.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's so good. It's Wade Keller.
I can't stand him.
Oh, no!
Yeah. I absolutely can't stand that guy.
Why? Isn't he in your neck of the woods?
I don't believe so.
Oh. He's in Iowa, man. He's in the Hall of Fame, man. What you got against Wade Keller?
His opinions are garbage.
For instance,
he was good at a time, but he's very, very jaded in what he thinks now, and he's out of touch.
So what about Meltzer? How you feel about Meltzer?
He's worse.
Oh. What about Alvarez?
Brian Alvarez, I don't know much about.
He's fun. If you get the opportunity to check out the was it PW Insider? Is that Insider? What is that?
No, that's Mike Johnson. I do I have an elite subscription to PW Insider, so I do listen to that too.
Anyway, Alvarez, he's fun. I like to listen to him talk, but again, to squeeze in anything outside of the podcast that I already listened to is kind of tough. And I make that analogy about people consuming the product, the wrestling product. They just don't have time, and I'm not going to hold it against them. If they're fan enough, they'll find time. Because what happens is, especially within the wrestling world, even as casuals, when AJ Styles comes out and everyone pops and they're looking around like, oh my God, I don't know who this guy is. They're gonna feel ashamed, and they're gonna do any and everything to get as much information by the time they show up next week to watch the product next week to see why everyone else is so excited. Or Shinsuke Nakamura, like maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, he's from New Japan, go check out his stuff in New Japan, and maybe they'll be like, okay, let's hop on the Daily Motion, y'all. Like it takes little things like that.
Or New Japan World.
Or New Japan. Well, I would say Daily Motion. I mean, I'm not saying spend money. No one's going to spend money to try to know something that crucial.
Well, yeah, go to Daily Motion, and then if you like what you see on Daily Motion, then invest in New Japan World.
Yeah.
Because New Japan World, it took me a long time to invest in it, but because I just got it in December, but in time for Wrestle Kingdom 10 because I really wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And it's already paid for itself, and it's $9.99 yen, but it translates to $8.28.
But I don't have the time to watch it. I wouldn't have the time because I don't even watch a lot of the WWE Network. I mean, I'm sitting here going.
The only thing I watch on the network are the pay-per-views because I have to for podcast reasons, and NXT. If it wasn't if I didn't have a podcast, the only reason I got the WWE Network in the first place was for NXT. If they pulled NXT off the network, I would cancel it.
You don't watch any of the old school or the you don't watch any of the Smoky Mountain or the WCW.
I tried to watch Smoky Mountain once, and I couldn't get through it.
Why?
I was watching Canadian Stampede before they pulled it. And I have seen a majority of the old pay-per-views that I've already wanted to see.
Man, Smoky Mountain, the Dirty White Boy, and the Thrill Seekers. Oh.
But that's stuff like I've already seen.
Yeah, I'm reintroducing myself to it. The promos are great. The in-ring performance, like
Smoky Mountain's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's just something I've already seen before.
Okay, all right. Even what they're doing down with PSAs and them, that's world class. You watch any of that stuff?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
okay, sorry, my Bluetooth just died.
Okay. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So get your plugs in, homie, and then we're closing on out.
So you can follow me on Twitter at Headliner5. Follow Eyes on the Ring at Eyes on the Ring. Go to eyesonthering.com. Read my latest ROH TV review. I do reviews for them every week. I think I skipped the first week of 2016 because I just wasn't, or no, it was the last week of 2015. But there's 2 reviews from 2016 that have already been out or been posted. So go ahead and read those. Let's see what else. I will be on the Eyes on the Ring feed tonight, live tweeting Raw per the usual. And also, I mentioned this last week in the Lost episode, but since it was lost, I will mention it again. But Voices of Wrestling, which you can go to voicesofwrestling.com, and you can follow them at Voices of Wrestling on Twitter, does a Match of the Year voting system. They send out a ballot to an elite group of people, and I was chosen.
Oh, God, really?
And the way that they do it is...
An elite group of people.
Well, that's according to them. I'm just quoting what they said.
And I am part of that elite group, by the way.
But you rank your top 10 matches of the year, and you write a description of why each match ended up on your countdown and why it's where it's at. And then you send it to them, and then they they take all the people that they got lists from and they compile a master list. So the deadline for this is next Wednesday, January 20th. And by that time, the master list will come out. But I was really happy to be able to participate in it this year. And I'm
so
interested to see... Shut up. I'm interested to see what the list looks like. And once that gets posted, I will send links out to it so that if people want to read it, they can.
I know your match of the year is Goldust versus Tyler Breeze.
That match didn't even make it on my list, and that match didn't even happen, so there's that.
It did happen. They did face each other.
When?
2 weeks ago on SmackDown.
2 weeks ago on SmackDown. Well, that was that's not in the time frame.
Yeah, he beat him clean.
Yeah, so that you're an idiot because that doesn't even count. Because we're talking January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2015. Yeah, Mark.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My bad. Yeah. Who did you pick?
For the match of the year?
Yeah.
My number one choice was Kota Ibushi versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And my number two choice, off the top of my head, was Roderick Strong versus Hiroshi Tanahashi from War of the Worlds Night 2.
Okay.
That was my personal favorite match of the year, but I had to give the edge to Ibushi and Nakamura.
Okay. That was a fun match. It was so far. That was Wrestle Kingdom 9. It was so far down the card.
Yep.
Yeah. It was like maybe, I think match 3, maybe 2 or 3.
I can't remember to be exact.
God. Yeah.
I'd have to go back and watch it.
It definitely didn't serve a purpose. I mean, to find out right now the importance of Nakamura, being introduced to him as basically an opening act, it just threw me off. Like, he looked like a big deal. I just couldn't, for him to be that far on the card, far down the card, I just went, yeah. So now I get it because they were trying to focus on Okada and Tanahashi.
And by the way, that match from Wrestle Kingdom 9, that Okada-Tanahashi match, was very, very good. But the match they had at Wrestle Kingdom 10 blows that one out of the water.
I think it's a yin and a yang, Like, it's, I don't know. I can't say one was better than the other. I think
Tanahashi versus Okada, in my opinion, from Wrestle Kingdom 10, best match I've seen in 5 years.
5, huh?
Yes.
5.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to get this plug in. PJTW Central, folks. What I do over here, right, if you're listening and this is your first time, you actually come over because you want to listen to Nate's ass, and you're now checking out what I do. PJTW Central. Every Monday, we got the Neu Daye Podcast. After the Neu Daye Podcast, I do a...
Unless something happens and we lose a recording like last week.
I know, right? YouTube, every Raw, I do a Raw recap. Tuesday, Peter Talk Sports. This week will be episode 4 of Peter Talk Sports. A lot of football talk. That's about it. And then Wednesday, Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. This next week will be episode 75. And then we have Peter Talk SmackDown. And I think
which doesn't matter because SmackDown sucks.
Which is going to be number 48 of the Peter Talk SmackDown. And every once in a while, depending on whatever pay-per-views going on, whether it's ROH, New Japan, or if I have the itch to talk about some PWG, I do Peter specials where I talk about those pay-per-views or something like that. But and that's about it.
I still say that we need to get me, you, Peter, you're Peter, me on show.
It's such a bad idea that it's not even coming through on the fucking speaker. Like you would like we should do and like my computer's completely against this idea, dude. Just completely against it.
Apparently.
Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, what is it? Me, you, Keita, Jay.
Jake.
And who else?
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, we should get up at
Unless
some
you can
point.
think of anything else.
We could
For
do like
anybody
a pre. I think if we can all focus our attention on, say, something for WrestleMania, like a sort of pre-WrestleMania roundtable discussion, I think that would be really dope.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Or schedule.
So if you're listening, Keita, you're listening, Jay, and by the way, Ava Marie is awesome. Y'all came down like a house of fucking fire on my ass when I mentioned that she was awesome.
Wait, what?
Ava Marie. Like, I posted, like, after she after she found out that Nia Jax wasn't in it, and she kind of like goes, yes, I fucking fell in love with her. She's so great. And then Oscar bumps her, give her like
I hate you so much.
And then she throw out Oscar, man. That was awesome, man. The heat.
I'm about to hang up on you right now.
The heat that she got, man. But okay, so PJTW Central, that's the Twitter. Again, PJTW Central. What you want to do, and with not only PJTW Central material, but also Eyes on the Ring, and say what what Nathan is doing with Eyes on the Ring and his essays and whatnot. Leave a comment on them. Like them.
Well, the essays that the stuff that I was writing for this top 10 list will not be on eyesonthering.com. It will be on voicesofwrestling.com, but I will tweet a link to it when it is posted so that people can read it.
Okay,
so you'll have
hello?
Read that.
Oh, okay.
Because it'll be linked to their website, not mine.
Okay, you broke up. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, read the shit.
You need to get new shit.
It's not me, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's not me. I'm fine over here.
So, read his stuff, like his stuff, repost his stuff, repost everything. Sharing is caring. That's how we, it's not that we're like making money off this. This is a labor of love. All we want to do is have discussions, share our discussions with you, and have you basically talk to us about our discussions so we can bring you in. So again,
and if you don't like something that I say, tell me I suck, and I won't have any issue
no
with
one
it,
likes
because I get that a
anything
lot.
you says. So follow us on Twitter. Again, comment, like, subscribe, and share. That's my orders. That's my orders to you, the listener. And so what you got coming up next?
Just the eyes. Well, because I believe Royal Rumble's on Sunday.
Yep, the go home show tonight.
Yeah, so that would mean that this Sunday will be the Royal Rumble post show.
Okay, all right.
So hopefully something good will happen, so I don't have to hear True God Immortal bitch and moan for 3 hours.
He talks a lot, man.
I know. He can do an entire podcast by himself. And like I've had to lead podcasts before, and I have no problem doing it. But when other people don't talk, it really pisses me off.
Yeah, that's
because I'm not like a Solomonster where he can talk his ass off.
Well, I do that.
Go on for hours.
I do that.
You can do it too, and like there's certain people that I can listen to just talk by themselves, but there's certain people I can't, and it's like if I wasn't me, there's no way I would listen to myself talk.
But here's the
I
thing
don't even
about
like listening to my own stuff back.
But here's the thing about True God Immortal, and it's nothing against him. I think he has a lot to say. I think if he did a solo podcast, I would be inclined to listen to that. But I want to hear your thoughts and everyone else's thoughts. He doesn't really allow anyone to get any the thoughts in, especially like at the beginning. It'd be like a 10-minute block of just him talking. While y'all are listening. And
that's because usually by the 10-minute mark, I'm not even on the show yet.
No,
because half the time I fall asleep and then I forget to call in.
Oh, because sometimes you're in. I mean, you're normally the first one there. Like,
yeah.
I'm just saying in general.
Normally, but sometimes I forget to call in because I fall asleep.
I'm just saying in general, if he's by himself, that's granted. I can listen to him on his own. And again, I hope this doesn't sound. I hope he's not listening and like, fuck that nigga. No, it's not like that. It's just. It's just.
He lives where you live, so he could probably.
Oh really? I thought he was in Maryland.
Huh?
I thought he was in like Washington D.C. or something.
No, he lives in Baltimore, man.
Baltimore. I'm in North Carolina.
Oh wait, no.
Keita. He lives where?
He's in he is in North Carolina.
No way.
Keita's in Washington.
Where in North Carolina?
He goes Charlotte. He goes to PWX all the time.
Oh, I've probably seen him.
We've had some people from PWX on our show.
Yes, you know what? I remember the time I went to the one with Samoa Joe, and I think he was there, and I was trying to figure out which one he was, but I was a little too chicken to just, walk up to him. But I'm just saying, I guess the point I was making, and then we're going to go, is that knowing that I want to hear y'all's thoughts and the fact that he goes on and on, it just kind of it makes it hard for me to want to check it out because I want to hear your thoughts within the conversation. He doesn't really allow it. So that's all I say. I mean, that's the only critique I have. It's not a criticism because I listen to the show.
Well, no, because it's not against me, so I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, God, dude. Are you Kevin Owens?
If you want to bury him all you want.
I'm not burying him. I'm not burying him. Ain't no beef, dude. None at all. It's just a critique. But anyway, you got any last words?
Nope. Just what you said earlier. Like, subscribe, and follow, and just listen to everything that we're doing because that's the reason why we do it. If we didn't have listeners and we didn't have people that were willing to listen to us talk for hours on end about wrestling and stuff that people don't care about generally, then we wouldn't do it. So,
and on top of that,
thankful for every single listener that we have.
And on top of that, watch out for those foreign objects. Have a good week, guys. Enjoy Raw. Happy Martin Luther King Day.